Lord, if you had been here, if you had just been here 4 days ago, my brother would not have died.
Your brother will rise again. Believe in me.
Lazarus, come forth!
Bible Tunes Studio presents When the Stone Becomes a Door, From Silence to Testimony. What is the absolute, terrifying limit of human hope? We like to believe that hope is an infinite resource, a flickering candle that can withstand any wind. But there is a point on the horizon of every human life where the light simply goes out. There is a specific, cold, biological threshold where the maybe becomes never. We spend our lives negotiating with crisis. We bargain with doctors, we plead with the universe. We throw our resources at the cracks in our foundation, believing that as long as there is a pulse, there is a path. But then, the pulse stops. The monitors go flat, the warmth leaves the skin, and in that moment, the negotiation ends. The door is slammed shut. The narrative is finished. We move from the world of the living into the world of the memorial. We stop asking for a miracle, and we start buying a plot of land. We roll a stone. We walk away. We accept that entropy is the only law that never blinks. You are about to hear a story about a man who stayed away until the situation was no longer a crisis, but a finality. You are about to hear a story about the precise moment where biological decay meets the author of life. You are about to experience a story about the 4-day threshold, the point where hope doesn't just fade, it rots. It begins in Bethany, a small, dusty, unremarkable village perched on the eastern slope of the Mount of Olives. It is a place of shadows and narrow streets, now choked with the suffocating atmosphere of a localized apocalypse. Lazarus is dead. He isn't just unconscious. He isn't in a deep, medically induced coma. He is dead. In the ancient world, they didn't have the luxury of sanitizing the end. They didn't have climate-controlled mortuaries or chemical embalming to mask the brutal reality of the transition. When a person died in the Judean heat, the clock started ticking immediately. The cellular structure begins to collapse. The enzymes start to digest the very organs they once protected. The bacteria within the body begin a violent, invisible colonization. Within hours, the man is gone, replaced by a biological process of dissolution. But there is something deeper happening here. In ancient Jewish cosmology, the number 4 was a terrifying milestone. There was a prevailing belief that the spirit of a person lingered near the body for 3 days, perhaps searching for a way back in, perhaps unwilling to leave the familiar. But on the 4th day, the face would change, the features would distort, the likeness of the person would vanish into the grotesque mask of decay. The 4th day was the legal and spiritual declaration of the absolute end. To the people of Bethany, the 4th day was the point of no return. It was the moment where even the most desperate prayer was considered an insult to common sense. Martha.
It has been 4 days, Mary. Stop looking toward the road. He isn't coming. Or if he is, he's coming for a funeral he already missed.
Mary.
He loved him, Martha. He called him friend. How could he just stay there? He was only 2 days away. He could have walked here in the afternoon. He healed the man born blind. He drove out legions of demons. Why would he let the one person he truly loved slip into the dark?
Because even he has limits. Apparently, the grave is the one thing he cannot touch. Look at the house, Mary. Look at the mourners. We aren't waiting for a healer anymore. We are waiting for the smell to get worse. We are waiting for the memory to fade. The story is over.
The house is filled with the low, rhythmic chanting of professional mourners. It is a sensory overload of misery. The scent of heavy incense is being used to fight a losing battle against the reality of the tomb. Every few minutes, a new wave of wailing erupts, a psychological hammer blow designed to remind everyone that death has won. These people aren't being pessimistic, they are being rational. They are looking at the evidence. They are looking at the stone. They are looking at the calendar. 4 days, 96 hours of silence. The all-hope-lost moment has been reached and surpassed. And then, a shadow appears on the horizon. Jesus of Nazareth arrives, but he doesn't arrive with the frantic, breathless energy of someone who feels guilty for being late. He arrives with a terrifying, unnerving calm. He walks into a scene of absolute emotional devastation with the posture of a king walking into his own garden. He is not intimidated by the wailing. He is not moved by the logic of the 4-day limit. Martha, running to him, falling at his feet, her voice a mixture of accusation and adoration.
Lord, if you had been here, if you had just been here 4 days ago, my brother would not have died. We sent the message. We told you he was sick. We gave you the opportunity to save him and you stayed away.
Martha, your brother will rise again.
I know he will rise again. In the resurrection, at the last day, when the world ends and the heavens are rolled up like a scroll. I know the theology, Lord, but that doesn't help me now. Now he is in a hole. Now he is rotting. Now he is gone.
Jesus, stopping, looking her directly in the eyes. The air around him seems to thicken with kinetic energy.
Martha, listen to the words I am about to say. I am not talking about a future event. I am not talking about a theological concept. I am the resurrection and the life. The one who believes in me will live, even though they die. And whoever lives by believing in me will never die. Do you believe this?
Analyze the sheer, staggering audacity of that statement. He is standing in a village defined by a fresh grave, and he is claiming to be the singular source of biological and spiritual existence. He is claiming that death is not a destination, but a temporary state of being that answers to his voice. He is claiming to be the ego eimi, the I am, the creator of the atom, the architect of the DNA strand, the one who breathed life into the dust of the earth, is standing in front of a grieving woman, asking her if she trusts him more than she trusts her own eyes. He moves toward the tomb. It is a cave cut into the limestone hillside. It is cold. It is dark. It is the finality of the earth. A massive circular stone, weighing several tons, sits in a deep groove in front of the entrance. It is the period at the end of the sentence. It is the physical manifestation of no. Jesus looks at the stone, and for the first time, the crowd sees his composure crack, not with fear, but with a holy, violent indignation. He is deeply moved. In the original language, this implies a snort of rage, like a war horse preparing for battle. He is looking at the enemy that has enslaved his children since the fall of man. He is looking at death.
Take away the stone.
Lord, no. By this time there will be a stench. It has been 4 days. You don't understand the biology of what is happening in there. The gases have built up. The flesh is falling away from the bone. If you open that tomb, the reality will be too gruesome to bear. Please, Lord, don't make us see him like this. Let him stay in the dark.
Martha is speaking for all of humanity. She is saying, let our failures stay hidden. Let our dead things stay buried. We can handle the grief, but we cannot handle the exposure of the rot. But Jesus isn't interested in a sanitized miracle. He isn't interested in a polite healing. He wants to go exactly where the stench is. He wants to confront the most hopeless part of your existence. He wants the stone moved precisely because it is the thing that makes the situation impossible.
Did I not tell you that if you believe, you will see the glory of God? Move the stone.
The men of the village step forward. They are terrified. Their hands are shaking as they find leverage against the rough limestone. They brace their feet in the dirt. They lean their weight into the massive rock. There is a sound like a mountain breaking a grinding, industrial screech of stone against stone that echoes off the hills of Bethany. As the stone slides back, a pocket of air, cold, stagnant, and sickeningly sweet with the heavy scent of advanced decomposition, is released into the afternoon sun. The crowd recoils. People cover their faces with their cloaks. Some retch, some fall to their knees. This is it. This is the absolute, all hope lost moment. This is the reality of the grave. There is no music here. There is no light. There is only a dark, foul-smelling hole in the ground. Jesus stands at the threshold of the abyss. He doesn't cover his nose. He doesn't turn away. He looks into the absolute blackness of the tomb. He looks at the place where Lazarus has spent 96 hours being erased by the earth. Imagine the perspective shifting. We are no longer outside with the crowd. We are inside the cave. We are in the lightless, airless void. There is a body lying on a cold stone slab. It is wrapped tightly in hundreds of yards of linen strips, soaked in 75 pounds of myrrh and aloes. The spices have hardened into a sort of resinous shell. The face is covered by a separate cloth, a sudarium. Underneath that cloth, there is no breath. There is no electrical activity in the brain. The heart is a stagnant organ. The blood has pooled in the lower extremities. This is the definition of impossible. But suddenly, a vibration hits the stone walls of the tomb. It is not a sound that travels through the air. It is a frequency that travels through the fabric of reality itself. A voice pierces through the limestone. It is a voice that carries the kinetic force of the Big Bang. It is the voice that commanded the stars to ignite. It is the voice that tells the sea where to stop. Jesus. His voice is a thunderous, focused roar that shatters the silence of the afterlife.
Lazarus, coming forth!
In the microscopic fraction of a second after that command is given, the universe rewrites itself. Inside the tomb, a miracle of physics occurs. The stagnant blood suddenly begins to thin and surge. The heart, a muscle that has been still for 4 days, receives a massive electrical jolt from the void and begins to beat strong, rhythmic, and violent. The lungs expand, drawing in the stale, foul air and instantly purifying it. The neural pathways in the brain ignite like a city being turned on at night. The skin, which was gray and translucent, suddenly flushes with the warmth of living oxygen. The bacteria of decay are instantly annihilated. Entropy is reversed. Death is evicted. Lazarus is alive. He is lying in the dark, wrapped in the constraints of a corpse, but his eyes are open. He can hear the weeping outside. He can see the faint rectangle of light at the end of the tunnel, but he is bound. He is trapped in the very garments that were designed to hold his remains. He has to move. Crowd, complete, pin drop silence. No one is breathing. Everyone is staring into the dark hole. Thomas.
Did you hear that? Something is moving inside.
Through the opening of the tomb, a figure appears. It is the most terrifying and beautiful sight the world has ever seen. It is a man, wrapped head to toe in burial shrouds, his face still covered by the napkin. He moves with a stiff, shuffling gait because his legs are still tied together. He hops, he scrapes, he struggles against the weight of the grave clothes. He emerges into the blinding sunlight, a living, breathing mummy. The all hope lost moment has just been vaporized. The crowd is paralyzed between the impulse to run in terror and the impulse to scream in joy. They are looking at a man who was dead, but is now standing. Jesus, his voice calm again, yet filled with authority.
Unbind him. Let him go.
Imagine the sisters, Mary and Martha, moving forward. Their hands are shaking so violently they can barely grip the linen. They reach out and begin to tear at the burial strips. They peel back the layers of resin and spice. They are crying, laughing, and gasping for air. They reach the face. They pull back the sudarium. And there, looking back at them, are the clear, bright, living eyes of their brother. He isn't a ghost. He isn't a spirit. His skin is warm. He is sweating in the Judean heat. He takes a massive, ragged breath of fresh air and looks at Jesus.
I heard you. I heard you calling me.
Let us pause the narrative and analyze the implications of this event. This was not a near-death experience. This was not a resuscitation. This was a recreation. Jesus waited for the fourth day specifically to strip away every possible human explanation. He waited until the stench was undeniable, so that the glory would be unmistakable. He wanted to show that his authority is not limited by the health of the body, the state of the economy, or the depth of the tragedy. He wanted to prove that the grave, the ultimate no of the human experience, is nothing more than a temporary room that he has the key to open. Now, look at your own life. You are in a fourth-day situation right now. I don't know what you've buried, and I don't know how long it's been in the dark. Maybe it is a dream that you gave up on a decade ago, and now the very thought of it just brings a stench of regret. Maybe it is a marriage that has been dead for so long that the legal documents are just a formality of the burial. Maybe it is your own sense of worth, buried under a mountain of addiction, shame, and biological excuses. You've rolled the stone. You've accepted the finality. You've told yourself, if God was going to move, he would have moved when there was still a pulse. It's too late now. I've been in this hole too long. You are listening to the logic of the mourners. You are listening to the logic of the 3-day limit. But the creator of the universe is standing in front of your cave, and he is not bothered by the calendar. He is not repelled by the stench of your failures. He isn't intimidated by the ton weight of the stone you've used to seal your heart. He is looking at the very thing that makes you feel hopeless, and he is giving a command. He is asking you to stop protecting him from your reality. He is asking you to expose the dark, foul, decaying parts of your life to the light of his presence. You think the rot will offend him. You think the mess is too gruesome for a holy God to touch. But grace dives into the rot. Grace walks into the stench. Grace looks at the all hope lost moment and sees a starting line. You might be bound right now. You might feel like, even if you are alive, you are still wrapped in the burial clothes of your past. You are shuffling toward the light, but you are still carrying the weight of the dead version of yourself. Listen to the voice of the Savior. Unbind him. Let him go. He didn't just bring you back to life so you could live in a shroud. He brought you back so you could walk in freedom. He wants the grave clothes off. He wants the shame removed. He wants the sudarium taken off your eyes, so you can see the world as it truly is, a place where death is no longer the final word. Stop negotiating with the grave. Stop believing that your situation is too far gone for a miracle. The 4-day rule is a human construct, but you serve a God who exists outside of time. Your stench is just the platform for his power. Your stone is just the door to your testimony. Can you hear the grinding of the limestone? Can you see the light breaking into your darkness? Can you hear the voice that called the stars into being, calling your name? Jesus, come forth. Step out of the tomb. Leave the linen behind. The author of life has picked up the pen, and he is rewriting your ending. The grave is empty. The miracle is here. Come forth. If this story inspired you, don't forget to like and subscribe to Bible Tune Studios. Share the hope, share the miracle.